Hello, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com, and I'm here today to talk to you about time shifting and about reality shifts that involve time travel. And the story I'd like to tell you about happened back in 1998. It happened with my daughter, who was 8 years old at the time, and myself, and a friend of ours we were expecting him to come and visit us with his 2 children. What happened that day was really surprising and quite memorable, because I'll just start at the beginning. I was expecting our friend to arrive, so I was in the house with the front door open as my daughter was running back inside and outside, and I could hear at one point that there was the sound of tires on the gravel in the driveway out front, and it sounded like the car that we were expecting. I heard my daughter yell something like, "He's here," and then run out and call his name. And then it just seemed like there was a little bit of time went by, and I was just doing things in the house. And then I could hear the sound of a car leaving from the driveway. Once again, the sound of tires and on the gravel. And then my daughter came running back inside, and she said, she was yelling, "Why are you going?" And she ran back inside to ask me what had happened. Why would he leave? And I didn't know. Maybe he'd forgotten something. She told me that his kids weren't even in the car. And anyway, this all seemed rather strange. But about 10 minutes later, what happened next is even more unusual, because our friend showed up. He had the children. This was a different car, not the car that my daughter had seen before, she said later to me. And so she came to me and was asking, what's going on, and why would he go like that and then come back? And I said, let's ask him. So we went to ask him if he'd indeed remembered any of this, and if that had been something he could explain. And what he said was really surprising. He said that at one point he'd come to our house a while back, and he had been driving that other car. He'd been alone, and he had missed us and felt how much he cared, and felt the tremendous admiration and love for my daughter, with just so much love in her heart, that he really wanted to talk to us. He didn't remember seeing her like she had seen him. So this was a kind of time travel where my daughter was actually seeing something that had happened in her past, and then for my friend, he was seeing into the future, although he was more sensing the presence of my daughter than actually seeing her. And for my part, I was hearing the sound of tires in the driveway, which if I didn't have my daughter out there telling me what was going on, I might have just thought it was a regular car. I wouldn't know any different. My daughter's the one that told me our friend was driving the car. So that means I don't have proof. There's no proof of any of this, but I do have my own experience, which is that I heard the sound of what sounded like his car, and apparently that was his car from some time in my past at that point. So it's all pretty amazing, but at the same time, this is the sort of experience that any of us who are on a spiritual path, who are meditating, being conscious of energy, keeping an open mind to possibility, are capable of experiencing, right along with synchronicities, instantaneous healing, and all sorts of other kinds of reality shifts. So this sort of time travel is something that all of us have access to, especially when we feel a connection from our heart to someone or something else. So until next time, I'd like you to keep thinking about how good it can get, and consider what would happen if you were able to make connections through all time and space to those that you care most about. I hope that this brings out the best in you and in your life. And this is Cynthia Sue Larson from RealityShifters.com.